Hey, Doggy Dan. Welcome to your weekend and welcome to the channel. I am literally buzzing. It's like 7 a.m. Saturday morning and I've been up pretty much the whole night working on this. So on Thursday I posted a vlog and I featured a piece of music that I composed entirely using samples from a soccer game. I don't even know what they call that specific type of soccer, but it's where you dressed up in a huge ball and you're playing soccer. Tons of fun. We had a lovely team building weekend last weekend, and I took some footage there and turned it into a song, into a piece of music. And this week I decided I want to add another instrument, and I started playing around with a ukulele, and the whole thing just changed completely. So I'd love to take you through this entire process. So the first thing I did was obviously to import the sample. What I did was I made a very short video on my iPhone using LumaFusion, slapped together a few short snippets of people kicking the ball or being... I imported that sample into Ableton Live. Weekend ahead, some team building and sales training. You hear that referee's whistle, and I thought it just would add a little something really nice and different. It took me a few minutes to just chop it up, organize it, get it into short snippets. There was about 3 or 4 good ones, and I ended up using 2 different ones. As you can hear, it produced a very interesting... Next up I made a pattern. I consolidated the track, the 3 kicks, and turned that into a single sample. Because what happens is if you transpose a sample, you can only go that far. So once I had it arranged into 3 kicks, I consolidated it so that it was turned into a new sample. And messed around a little bit with the transpose function to see what kind of sound I could get. And then I got this lovely synth sound out of it. I was feeling a little something there. Chopping some more to basically double up on those kicks. The video was recorded with my iPhone and the audio wasn't great, so important to double up on that, basically create a layered drum track or kick track at least. So I was building this up as I went along. At this point I didn't have a very strong fixed idea about where I was going with it. So the bass that you heard there, one of the thumps, it had a nice slow attack and quite a deep sound. So what I did was I edited that and basically split it up and repitched it into various notes. I was working more on fine-tuning the arrangement than actually working on anything else. And then I figured, that lead sound, it was missing something. There was something, it didn't push through hard enough for me. I needed it to come through. And one of my favorite plugins is FabFilter's Saturn. So I was fiddling around, messing around, trying to bring out that something that I heard in my head. And then I started the arrangement a little bit more in the melody. I had used Saturn to warm it up, and then I'd also used a resonator to bring out some of the harmonics. The notes were very flat. Basically, the resonator brings out the harmonics and gives it a richer sound. It gave that almost oriental type of feel. And I decided to record some ukulele, just some basic lines, you know. Didn't really know where I was going with this. But then I heard a counter melody in my head and I recorded that as well. And I started throwing in distortion. Now, basically what's happening here is I took that main ukulele lead that I had put through a distortion, duplicated it, and then transposed the second one up an octave. And I also added a little bit of a delay. I panned them differently and added more reverb to the higher pitched one, just basically to increase a sense of space. I also made slight changes in the higher pitched melody to also add some interest and variation. So if you're listening to it in stereo, it's very subtle, but on occasion there's a semitone or 2 or 3 semitones difference between. I had previously processed the drums, but now I started duplicating and basically doing different EQing on the 2 identical kick tracks, so that the one would bring more focus to the percussive sound and the other one would bring more focus to the deeper thud. And now it was down to arranging pretty much. So spreading it out, adding things, taking away things that I felt needed to change. At this point I thought I knew what the song was going to be. But in the end, it was still different from what even I had expected. So this was Dog Ear Dan. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And go make some music, go have some fun, stay safe, and I'll catch you on Tuesday.